So over the years, we've covered a lot of problems with Buffalo Housing Court. But did you know, technically, since the 1970s, there has been a state law on the books that required oversight of this court. Problem is, that stopped in the 90s. Ever since then, the mandated monitoring just hasn't happened. Investigative Post is now reporting that that could change, and the big question is, what will be the impact? Ijaz Jasil reported that story for Investigative Post, and she joins me live here tonight. Ijaz, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me, Michael.
Let me start here with what is housing court, because I'm sure some people are watching and they're like, why should I care what housing court is? Super important in dealing with a lot of issues in the city of Buffalo.
Absolutely. It's arguably one of the most important courts in the city. Even if you've never had a property land in housing court, it's something that the public should know about because it concerns the homes of the city. And one of the most striking quotes in my story came from Dr. Henry Taylor of UB. He said that a lot of the city's homes are quite literally killing people because we live in a city where over 60% of our homes were built in the 1930s or earlier. We have issues like mold, asbestos, lead paint. So housing court is where those issues come to be solved. It's where inspectors bring these issues in the homes to the attention of the judge so that they can be remediated. So housing court is a place that deals with not only the conditions of the homes, but also landlord-tenant issues as well.
Do we know why, despite this law being on the books now for longer than either of us has been alive, that this mandated monitoring of the housing court hasn't been happening since the 90s?
Well, there is no definite answer, but quite a few people that I spoke to within the judicial system say it's because at a certain point, for whatever reason, some housing court judges just felt it wasn't needed. Some say that the council may have been a little too critical of judges at some point, and so the judge, being the head authority, sort of thought, well, maybe we could push this to the side. Others speculate that there was sort of a lost interest in the advocacy for, fighting for healthy homes and community involvement. So whatever the case, this did die down, but the judicial system of today realizes that it's a law, and even if you don't agree with it, it must be obeyed. That's why it's getting reinstated.
Yeah, that's what I know there are people watching right now who are like, since when did a judge get to decide I'm not going to follow this state law? That part aside, because again, this dates back to the 70s.
Right.
Here we are now in 2024. This is going to change, right? This monitoring is going to come back. Walk me through what you've learned about that, why they're doing it, and how significant that might be.
Yes, so really the reason why this is coming back is because there have been calls from the community. And this was something that Channel 7 actually covered in 2019 first. The Allentown Association brought awareness to the fact that there was not an active advisory council because they, like a lot of other people, are kind of tired of the way that the city sometimes drags its feet in dealing with housing related issues. So I spoke with quite a few people, including the 8th Judicial Administrative Judge Kevin Carter, who is by law responsible for appointing the council, and he confirmed that the council is in fact in the state of being reinstated. And he said that he doesn't quite know really what to expect, so he's talking to past judges so that he can get a better understanding of what the council should be. And he's also talking to other municipalities like New York City. They have an active housing court advisory council. So there's going to be somewhat of a learning curve along the way, but he's really excited to get it reinstated, and a lot of people are happy to hear it's coming back as well. I
know that this is a beat that you cover a lot, and again, as we mentioned off the top here, there are a lot of issues with Buffalo Housing Court. I guess right now we don't really know how significant this might be. I mean, we have a lot of advisory councils or different groups that oversee things. I mean, just as someone who covers this a lot, do you think this could end up being significant in dealing with a lot of the problems?
I really do. I think it'll be a big deal because from what I've observed is a lot of citizens and activists feel that they don't have a voice in court. And so the advisory council is going to be a way to do that because the law requires there to be members from the public at large, members from the real estate industry, from the Bar Association. So this is going to be a very diverse group of individuals who are going to observe housing court, make recommendations to the judges, produce annual reports. And a lot of people are hopeful that by having more comprehensive data and information on the books, there will also be more transparency and quicker handling and more effective handling of cases as well. Yeah, we're going to get a lot more information, and sometimes sunlight is one of the most important things out there. I know you'll be covering it closely. Go to investigativepost.org. You can read Ijaz's reporting on this. Really thorough and interesting stuff. It's crazy how long this just has been ignored. Ijaz Jasil with Investigative Post. Great to see you. Great to see you too. Thanks. Thank you.